All right, so what's going on, everyone? Today we're going to do a video for Sofi. We don't have a prediction here on our chart because I wanted to see on our last video how high price would go before we saw selling. And as you can see right here, the market was definitely bullish. It continued to go up. So we didn't capture that market move to the upside in Sofi, but today we may actually capture the market move to the downside. Now I'm zooming out the chart real quick and you can see that the last time we've seen Sofi trade around here around $24.50 was back in 2021, so almost 4 years ago. This price in Sofi hasn't traded this high, and look at what happened during that time. We've seen market rejection every time price in Sofi hit those highs, hit that price. They got rejected, and we saw a pretty big move to the downside. And from the price action yesterday and the amount of volume that came through, we may actually see the market in Sofi go lower. Now, things has changed, right? You can already tell even in pre-market, the market is definitely hitting trade around $20.68. That is off of the amount of volume that really occurred and the earnings that was released. It's not a coincidence that the price in Sofi was trading right here around all-time highs leading up to the earnings release. So now the market has a reason, an excuse to say, hey, that is why price is going down, because the so-called market didn't like what Sofi said on their earnings conference call. People didn't like it. So that's why the market in Sofi is down 15-20%. They like to use those ploys as a reason or a cause to get people to sell or buy a stock. That's pretty much it. For any individual in the market, there could be a plethora of reasons of why people buy and sell. So we can't just pin the cause of why price is going down on one situation or one event. You can't do that, because the reason why you might sell is totally different from the person down the street, or the reason why you might buy a stock is totally different than the person up the street. It doesn't really matter on the event or the cause. We're here just to look at the reaction, what's really going on behind the chart. So let's go ahead and break down this real quick. So the reason for the most part as to why I suspect that Sofi is going to continue to go lower is I want us to look at the volume that really came through yesterday, right? So look at that volume bar right here at the bottom of the chart, right there. There was a lot of market participation occurring yesterday, a lot. The volatility was pretty wide too. When you look at the historical price bars on this chart, the spread of the price bar yesterday is pretty wide. So we have, you would say, by this much volume, regular people cannot create that much volume. We had a lot of big players, banks, hedge funds, actively trading in Sofi yesterday. Now, looking at how the price bar ended, looking up here, it looks like they were doing mostly selling. And looking at how the market looks in pre-market right now, trading down here, it looked like they're still in that place, selling. Okay, so what we're going to do is clean up this chart first of all, because the market in Sofi definitely exceeded those sell pockets, and we're going to create a new sell pocket up here. Okay, so this point all the way up here is the newest sell pocket, meaning even if Sofi was to recover and begin to lift in price, we would expect this sell pocket to be a hindrance for those buyers. Here is a buy pocket right here in Sofi too. I want to break that down on the hourly chart to see if we can get that a little bit tighter. But we're going to make that on the daily chart as a buy pocket. And we're going to create a new buy pocket in Sofi down here. These are going to be targets. These are places, if we think price is going to continue to go lower, we're going to expect market to bounce on one of these pockets. So let me look at this on the 5 hour. So let me see this one here. Okay, I'm gonna cut this one out. We're going to hold this point right here as a sell pocket. I mean a buy pocket. So yeah, I think these three areas right here is going to be real important in SoFi. And I think the weakness is still going to continue in SoFi. Looking at this on the 5-hour chart, it definitely looks that way given this 5-hour bar right there. And then the current one is printing on the pre-market. Here it is on the 3. Okay, so yeah, I think the market's going to try to test this point right here in SoFi. 1 hour. Here it is on the 30-minute chart. I mean 330-minute chart. Here it is on the 90-minute and the 30. So we're going to anticipate lower prices in SoFi, right? We're going to add a sell pocket right here. Okay. So yeah, you can barely see that sell pocket right there though. Let's see what this one looks like. All right, so let me go ahead and put this on the chart for SoFi. I want to play the move to the downside in this stock. Now, we're not necessarily saying that this stock is going to continue a massive move to the downside, although that could be in the cards. We may see right here, especially these people who may be locked. Like we might find these big hedge funds, institutions begin to accumulate the stock here because they know that SoFi is going to continue to make all-time highs. So that's what I'm going to pay attention to as we see this market in SoFi begin to decrease over the next couple of days. I would fall in line and say we're going to continue to go down in SoFi if we break this buy pocket. And it may be a big move to the downside if we see the market not hold this buy pocket right there. So let's see what happens in pre-market or how we round out today to see if these buyers are still going to hold this pocket. All right, so that's going to be our first target though. Down here, this pocket, which is 11.38% at the close from yesterday. But if we were to get in here where the pre-market is, that will only be 3 3/4, maybe 4 3/4%. Okay, so just giving you guys both perspectives in that RAM. Then our next target is going to be down here at this next pocket of buying. Okay, that's like 23% move to the downside. Let me lift it up higher. And I think I'm finished. So we'll see if the selling is going to continue into the market in SoFi, because there's definitely, by the amount of volume, there's some profit taking going on in this stock. So let's see how strong the market buyers are, because if they are, they'll hold the market as soon as possible. They'll buy it. And understand that when you have people placing dollars on the line in anticipation of receiving more dollars or money, they're not playing at this game. So when people lay their bets down on the table, they can't pick it up and say, all right, psych, I was just playing. I wasn't really thinking that the market in SoFi was going to go up, because they can't take it back. Once they come in and drop their position, you'll see it on the charts. And then you'll get that confirmation. All right, cool, I see what they're up to. Let me go ahead and follow suit and try to follow the market. That's what we do here on this particular channel. We try to see which side of the market is moving this price. And sometimes you can clearly see it. It's obvious that the market is being held by the buyers or is being held by the sellers. And that's how you're able to determine which direction price is probable to go. All right, so let's see what happens. Give me your thoughts. Make sure you maintain profit. And as always, trade different.